So I might have told a bit of a porky pie at the end of the last episode, or at the very least I've changed my mind, because the Barcelona and Lille matches, yeah, they're happening right after this intro. Look, Barcelona are a point behind us in the table, so if we lose to them, they'll usurp us at the head of the table, and if I cock up the Lille match, I'll never live it down the fact I wasn't showing it. So, we're playing both of them because they're far too important just to skip past, I feel like. And also, we're kind of due a nonsense. We haven't really had one in this save for a while. That might be because my stream save has got all of that going on. It's carnage over at Skegness, twitch.tv/AmazingChi. If you're interested, you know where to go now. But, like I say, we're 1 point clear. 1 point. Barcelona did win their game in hand. So I know we've just played them, but it's too important. And realistically, we've played a lot of cup games recently. We've not really focused on the league in about 18 months in the save. The fact that we're actually challenging for this title right now is slipped under the radar for this particular season. I've not brought it up too much in lieu of the Champions League shenanigans. Now, the lineup is Merit, Lodi, Umtiti, Quiros, Obregon, Antov, Ravella, Faisal, Zukic, Batuan and Eduard. That's who I'm sending out to go to Camp Nou. Lodi over Harwood is purely because he's just a better left back as a whole. The one thing I overlooked with Harwood, who has a face now, he is actually probably a little bit more of a centre back, slightly low aggression centre back. So it's whether or not we continue training him in the sort of the forward areas of left back, or if we train him in sort of we can't really train him in aggression, I don't think. So it's probably the better way to do it. He does need better work rate in general. That's one thing I do want to get in him. But if we can get his crossing up, if we can get his technique up, then get him as a more full, complete wing-back. He's got the defensive side of it down. Giving a face to Harwood is also awkwardly given a face to Pablo Torre, who is a real person. Probably doesn't look like that, but he didn't have a face in the game. So, apologies, Pablo, for that one. He's also not been part of a squad for whatever reason until now. I completely ignored the previous two matches that happened in between now and last time. They're both against Celta Vigo, and we dealt with both of those. 0-0 in the cup thing, which was fine because we won the first half of that 3-0. And then we beat them 3-0 again in the league. So we did the 3-0 where it kind of mattered, basically. There's their lineup. It's got the youngsters, Pedri, Mariba's in there, Fatty on the left-hand side. Our old friend Cavalo in up front, of course. And there's ours with... I don't know why it doesn't give Batuancourt a face. Considering it gave Pablo Torre a face, I don't know why it doesn't give Batuancourt one. That makes no very little sense. But as I'm recording this on Thursday, just to let you know, so Thursday's matches haven't happened. We're still a full day away from England versus Scotland, so any crisis that happens between now and then, I'm not aware of. Gotta feel confident as an England fan, I would imagine. I'll tell you who's let me down, though. Turkey have massively let me down. Blimey. They are absolutely not the team that they were sort of being built up to be, really. I mean, same. I was the same in my predictions. If you've not watched that video, it looks incredibly wrong now. As Eduard is... That was lovely by Eduard. Sort of speaking of Scottish teams. Celtic, obviously, and Rangers. The connection's there. But, yeah, Turkey have let me down dramatically. I'm going to cause Turkish, I'm pretty certain, in this side. Not that he's part of the Euros. He'd be 18, I think, at the start of this game, so probably not good enough yet. Real person, but a player with a bit of potential rather than the player who has it at the start. But we had Xhaka in goal, of course. I mean, I don't think necessarily there's been anything dramatically wrong with the goalkeeping for Turkey. Just the entire team's not functioning. Realistically, Griezmann went for something there. Something dramatic, and it didn't pay off because he just kicked a player instead. There's Jordan Henderson of England and Calvert-Lewin of England. The players are there. The players are there that might feature tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows with Gareth Southgate? Because, frankly, anything can happen. Griezmann's gone wide. The one thing I don't understand about his right back and left back situation is why did he not just play Trippier at right back and play an actual left back at left back? Like, I kind of get that Walker's realistically possibly a slightly better right back overall than Trippier. But if he wanted the experience of Trippier and the set pieces of Trippier, why not just play him at right back and then play an actual left footer at left back? I thought there was a penalty involved there. It's the throw-in. Panic over. That was the one thing I didn't understand about that. Particularly as Walker was weirdly... I mean, defensively he was great, but offensively he was... Well, it was very reminiscent of the entire Scottish side, who didn't have eyes, seemingly. The amount of misplaced passes and just straight up running into each other the Scottish team did was bafflingly high. As Batuan charges down this right-hand side, there's more energy in this one move by Batuan called the entire Turkey team. Zukic at the back post. Oh, lovely header back across goal. You don't see that very often. In real life and Football Manager, really. But Batuancourt, one thing I will say actually about the English setup is, at the very least, he was justified in those choices. There was a couple of instances where it would have been better off to actually have a left-footed left back when when we got in those offensive positions with Trippier on the left. But by and large, there was no fault in the other players or Trippier's performance otherwise. It's the same issue, I think, that the Italians have with Spinazzola, but the Italians have been incredible. Because you're seeing these so-called title contenders struggle with teams, say title contenders, but Spain struggled with Sweden, Portugal struggled with Hungary, they got very lucky really. And each of these games where the so-called big dogs are struggling with the so-called lesser teams, the more you understand how good that Italy side is, Jesus, I'm terrified of them now. And Faisal's had another shocker. Faisal's average rating is quite bad overall. He had a good game last time out, which is why he's in the side rather than anyone else. That is actually Torre's spot. So Torre on. Zukic has scored but knackered. So Gallardo on. And Lodi's had, despite hyping him up beforehand as a better left back, it's an absolute shocker. So Harwood on as well. As I'm pretty certain Barcelona just brought on Lionel Messi. Not a bad sub to have, realistically, although he must be about 36 now. No, it's got to be older than that. 37 in game? How was he in real life? He's young. Oh, Jordan Henderson, of all people, has scored, talking of England versus Scotland. But yeah, the players that we, the fans, the outsiders, were concerned about. Sterling, I think, Calvin Phillips, we were concerned about. Obviously, Mings was enforced, but all three of those had excellent games against Croatia, so that was nice to see. I mean, it's a really good strike. But goalkeeper massively onside, though. Kyrgios is well in his way, along with the Barcelona player. I guess the Barcelona player was onside as well, so that would have been probably flagged as offside otherwise. Because the game likes to do that with people who are vaguely in the way of shots. But Oriana out to Sergio Roberto. I mean, Harvard did well there, but it just fell straight back to Sergio Roberto and we bottled the 2-0 lead. And Pedri's on roller skates, apparently. Just going to encourage, but this is ridiculous. Roberto tries to do a pass and it sort of just hits Harwood and rolled back into Sergio Roberto's, not even Sergio Roberto's feet, but just in front of him, like a little mini through ball for Sergio Roberto there. Just for him to take that nice little touch away from Harwood and get the cross in. I hate Football Manager. I hate it when it does that. Football Manager does not know what to do with loose balls. But Eduard's in, and Gallardo, lovely run by Gallardo. Sorry, £5 million from Barcelona. And if he's put the death knell in this particular game, if this ends with 3-3, I'm going to be furious. Had a game recently where there was, I think, 5 minutes of injury time, and the opponent got a penalty in the 96th minute. Yep, a full minute. Over the allotted. Nothing had happened really in the injury time to warrant an extra minute, but that's the way it was. That's the kind of nonsense you get on stream. Here, though, we get the nonsense 93rd minute. Although, realistically, 89th minute equaliser, it was looking like it was going to be one of those. I think Merit's conceded 2 for the first time this season. Let's not overlook the fact that we were at Barcelona as well there. We've just beaten them in their own ground. For the first time? Alex Gallardo refused to celebrate. Didn't mind beating his team, though. Tenerife B remaining in 15th. I feel like every time I've looked at the second division, Tenerife B have been in 15th. It's a little bit more than a 5-point gap on the relegation spots now, though, for them, which is nice. Jordan Ayu's at Leganes. Las Palmas are in second. I just noticed that. We might have a Canary derby again next year. That's an automatic spot as things stand for them, so it'd be nice to have the derby back and not have the derby be between Las Palmas and Tenerife B. Nico relishes his bit. Hang on. The one thing that infuriates me with my assistant manager's suggestions of where to play Nico is, yes, he can play deeper, but he's not a segundo volante. His tackling is alright. Like, he's 3.5 star basically every midfield role. Always tells me to replace the wrong person. Just the little things annoy me like that. I get the game's trying to do its best, and my assistant manager isn't rubbish when it comes to suggestions in general. But speaking of things that annoy me in Football Manager, this is one of the ones that annoys me the most. You should be doing more quickness training. As soon as you schedule quickness training, it feels like we should be doing more strength training. Or less quickness training. That's my favourite. Put it in. Oh, we need to be doing less now. Make your minds up. If anyone knows what the right amount of quickness training is, let me know. I'm yet to find it. That reminds me, Xherdan Shaqiri. You may have forgotten he was here because he had like a 3-month injury early on in the season. Yeah, that injury killed Xherdan Shaqiri. Like, just straight up. He doesn't have physicals anymore, which is awkward because I'm pretty certain he's registered for the Champions League. Overlooked that when I was re-registering in January. He's still worth like 10 million though, so should get profit on him if I sell him in the summer. Now, there's a major issue here in the fact that the entire back line are on yellow card warnings. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put Antov in central defence. But Bakayoko's on the yellow card warning. After what I just said, I am actually going to have to play Nico there. Nedelaire can start. Because the problem, of course, is with the registration issues to begin with, we don't have a lot of backup. I can't afford 4 people out of this. I can't afford the entire back line being unavailable because I don't have replacements for all 4 at the same time. particularly Ren and Lodi, really, but I have to roll that dice because, well, the other option's Alberto Moreno, who's also on a warning. The one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put Molina in the central midfield because Faisal's last 5, I'm not abiding by it. Merritt in goal, Lodi remains at left back, Antov, Quiros, Nedalea, Nico, Ravella, Molina, Zukic, Batuan and Eduard. I hate this. I hate it a lot. The Nedalea right back is the main one, really. That's my main concern. The rest of them I don't think is, moving Antov in central defence isn't actually a downgrade, it's actually an upgrade in the position. It's something I actually forget that Antov is actually our second best defender to Quiros. Like, I've played Umtiti there all season because Antov is also the best volante as well. And Quiros or Eduard there went very near to scoring. They're both on the near post. One charging, one permanently placed. Batuan, Zukic, back post. Pre-match, he says Zukic loved big games, which is something I've forgotten. He's loved this one so far. He's got a goal within the first 5 minutes. That's a nice time to get a goal very early on. Settles the game down for us in particular. Really forces Lille to try and take it to us, which in theory, with our formation, that's what we like. We like to soak up the pressure with our volantes, and then everyone charges forward on the break. It's a very counter-attacky sort of formation as a whole. It doesn't really feel like it a lot of the time because the highlights usually just start with us in possession. But it's a very this has just come from them attacking us, and we've got the ball to their end and we've scored. I don't really talk about the formation all that much. I'm using it as Skegness on stream in tier 6 of England, where the quality is vastly lower. Now, it is working to the extent that we are overperforming, but whether or not we're overperforming because of the formation or because of just in general, I don't know. But obviously the players down there are not as technically as gifted as the ones I've got here, particularly physically in some cases, which is necessary for Volante. Milik is not through there. I thought that was about to be the situation. Merritt's pass was concerning. Antov, back to Merritt. Can we stop passing to the goalkeeper, please? I don't need that stress. Batuan heads on to no one, and is now with Galeno. Still with Galeno, who's had a curious shot, which I'm fairly certain was on target, but then the animation had Merritt dive way beyond the goalpost. Lotty's got a red card. What? It's 2-0, thank God already, but thank you for the performance information there. Sent off early on, you can't see it. If I just remove my face briefly, you can see the important information that football manager's given me about Lotty's performance there. Thank you for that. Now I've got a problem. The interesting thing is, Nedalea can play centrally. I'm always very tempted to go 3 centre-backs and just see what happens. Because it feels harsh taking someone off, but I think I have to. Hilariously, the change I'm going to make is Umtiti for Molina. In central midfielder position, that's highlighted. In the 4 attributes that are highlighted as you hover over the position for the change, Molina is worse than Umtiti, according to the game, in that role. But anyway, Umtiti comes on there, and I move him to complete wing. I think I might have changed him to regular wing back, actually. Regular fullback for the time being. Because what I'm going to do is I'm also going to move Nico up there and have him as automatic, actually. That's why I took Molina off, by the way. Molina was having a better game than Nico at that stage, but Nico's better overall. Batuan's headed on to nobody. And Ravella is there to gather, thankfully. Now, of course, by being on automatic, he is technically just on attack. But Umtiti now, Batuan at the back post will keep it in, of course, otherwise that'll be a pointless highlight. Got the ball into the box, and Nico should have maybe made it 3. Not the end of the highlight, though, as it's been dumped forward. Milik heads down to Vignato, and that's sort of where the gap is. Ikone, far too near post. Merritt looked like he was behind the line for some bizarre reason when he struck that back out again, but all good. Kind of went to Ikone. And get the sense we might get a little bit more from them. I'll go less aggressive. This is basically what I've done personnel-wise every time I've had a red card with this formation so far, which isn't that often, actually. I think I've only had it once. That is the worst shot I've ever seen. That was nearer the corner flag. Thank you for interrupting me there, Zukic. But yeah, this is what I've done. We've not had that many red cards with this formation, which is weird because I'm pretty certain Get Stuck In is on it. For us, I've taken Get Stuck In off the tier 6 version because it's tier 6. I've only had like 1 or 2 red cards, and this is what I've done. I've taken off basically one of the volantes and left the centre midfielder there. And largely, the game's not really changed, as this one just disappears into 2-0 at half-time. I love the fact that Lotti's inspired and motivated by the half-time team talk. You're not even there. I don't think I've actually had a straight red in ages. Even the red card we had recently on stream was 2 yellows, I think. Ravella, all the way out to Umtiti on the left-hand side. It's weird seeing him on the pitch, but of course he is playing left-back today. I opted not to bring Moreno at all on the fact that Umtiti was on the bench. Someone's offside in the build-up. I think that might be Umtiti that was offside. Yeah, that's what the text is saying. It was the assister that was offside. And it remains 2-0 for now. We're going to see the replay, and yeah, he's just forgotten to come back, basically. It was already played once he got the ball. Okay, a couple of changes for tired personnel. Bakayoko on and Gallardo on. Quiros is booked. He will miss the next match. Of course, Lodi's going to miss the next match now anyway. That would have happened with a red or a yellow. I'm not actually sure how that works. I think the yellow card warning remains when he returns. I think that's how that works. I'm not certain. Of course, got to keep an eye on Bakayoko now because he's on a warning as well. Forgot about that. And of course, he's the only DM left on the pitch. This highlight can't make its mind up whether or not it wants to be a highlight. It sort of flickered in and out about 5 times there. You didn't see that, of course, but Merritt, that's not the end of the highlight, but I feel like it should have been. That was genuinely the best save I've ever seen in Football Manager. As Celik dispossesses. Nico now on the ball instead. Teddy still overlapping despite being on his regular fullback duty. Late corner for us, and not really seeing much from Lille at this point. That actually might be a very good save. I didn't really see it happen. It happened really quickly. I'm not sure if we hit a post or that was an insane save by Ordero. Zukic not on the back post. Mariano can run at us now. He's gone a bit wide. He's going to need help out here. As Umtiti just goes, no thank you. It's not like we've been idle since we've gone down to 10 men. I can tell by since half time we've had about 0.6 of XG by ourselves. Obviously they've had a fair bit as well. That is a ridiculously good goal. A little bit too late. It's his first goal of the season, but what a goal to score. I mean, irrelevant for Lille's purposes, but for his own morale's sake. Celik on the wrong side of the pitch. He was running down the byline before that. I mean, if he's got the instruction hugs byline, he's taken that a little bit too literally. It was like the game didn't know what to do with him until the ball was passed to him. So we finished the job. I don't think Bakayoko got booked. As Spurs turn it around in the 94th minute. Not that it really mattered because the away goal. And that was 8.68 million. And he's only banned for 1 match for that. Justified. Okay, it's justified, so don't appeal. And fine the 1 week. So yeah, we've only lost Quiros and Lodi, but Lodi's only out for 1 game, and then he's back, and then he's on a yellow card warning. I'm pretty certain that's how that works. Merritt was great as always. Horror tackle. It's only a 1 match ban, so it can't be that horrible. I'm not going to say who I want in the next round because that's a stupid question to answer. I'm including the draw, by the way. I want you to know who we've got next. Yeah, so financially, of course, we get another 20 million at the end of the season, so it's this plus 20 million. Just dawned on me, we haven't had youth intake yet. It might be early April for us. Because Spain's later than everyone for some reason. It wasn't very promising, the preview, so I'm not expecting much just yet. Oh no, get Mercedes mixed up. This is a terrific group of players. It's a real golden generation. It's the Skegness where everyone's terrible. So what I was saying before though, about the finances, we spent a fair amount on upgrading all the facilities. We've just done the last round to make them state of the art. All the money that's in the bank now will either go on improving the stadium down the line or on transfers. We're removing the extra outlays. So more and more of this money is going to be available for transfers, in theory. Because of course we get both draws right now as well. So quarterfinals and then the semi-final draw is done directly afterwards. Liverpool first out. We'll play Dortmund. It's the Klopp derby. I mean, Ajax remain, so I know which one I want. Man City will get Spurs, All England, Bayern. We've only gone and done it. Ajax versus Tenerife. That couldn't have gone any better for us if we tried. I think realistically, we might have wanted Bayern versus Liverpool or City, like the 3 really, really top ones, although I'm not sure how the game's treated Man United up to this point. But I would definitely count Liverpool and City and Bayern Munich as a slightly level ahead of Man United, Dortmund and Spurs at this stage. I'm not sure how good United are in the game, because they tend to overpower them as we draw Bayern and Man United. I mean, the second part of that was not going to be easy because whoever it was going to be massive. But just to point that out, City, Liverpool, Bayern Munich up there, United directly behind Dortmund, actually. So maybe that wasn't... Maybe the Liverpool one was a little bit more important than I remembered. I keep forgetting Dortmund are up here. But Ajax, by far and away, literally 1 place ahead of Lille in the reputations anyway. So can't be mad at the draw. Obviously ours hasn't improved just yet. I'm intrigued to see where we are at the beginning of next year now. So unbeaten run in general. The Getafe result looks really weird now. But... all those games come in really soon. And there's, oh god, and there's the Spanish Cup final, the Copa del Rey final, is all in and all mixed in. I feel like the Copa del Rey is going to be a match by itself. I reckon I'll do the thing I did last year with one of the legs, where I'm going to do both legs and ignore the league game in between, The Copa del Rey will be its own match following that by itself. So, to recap, quarterfinals of the Champions League, we've got Ajax. Copa del Rey final against Real Madrid, we're in there. We're 4 points clear at the top of the table now. And our only big team, realistically, between now and the end of the season is the Atletico Madrid. I don't think we're going to win the Champions League. Might get past Ajax, but the remainders of that are going to be problematic. But we could be very much on for the domestic treble, technically, if you include the Super Cup. We're very much on for that. See you next time. Ta-ra.